This changes everything. I know recency bias is a real thing because every time a team wins the Super Bowl, it's expected they're going to become the next dynasty. But recency bias or not, this might just be the craziest NFL offseason ever, and it might not even be close. There have been so many free agent moves and trades, it's been hard to keep up and remember where all the stars are now and what teams are good or bad. In this video, I'll preview the 2022 NFL offseason, going over every major move and why this is the best time to be an NFL fan. No time is like the present. Just about every half-decent NFL team took that saying to heart this offseason. These teams aren't waiting around. They want to win, and they want it right now. There are about 1,696 players on the active NFL rosters. On the NFL website, it shows all the players that were traded or signed somewhere new that actually play and aren't on practice squads or unimportant players. And there was 270 players that moved teams. 270 important players, which is almost 16% of all players on active rosters. 16% in one offseason have moved. Every single team has new pieces that will hopefully make a difference. In this craziness, there was a big quarterback shuffle in the league. These here are the teams that either for sure have a new quarterback or the organization doesn't know who exactly will be starting for them in week 1. Colts, Steelers, Browns, Broncos, Seahawks, 49ers, Saints, Panthers, Falcons, and Commanders. 10 quarterback situations. 10. Out of the 32 teams, 10 of them have a new guy at the most important position in football. I can even argue that it's the most important position in all of sports ever. They are the leaders and face of the entire team, and no other sport has a single position as important. If you have a top 10 or top 5 quarterback, well, you're in the running to win it all, because that one guy, one player, is potentially enough to get you there. A great quarterback can change everything. All the top 15-ish quarterbacks almost always stay, but especially this year, if the bottom quarterbacks aren't going into their second year and still have a chance, then teams have to switch it up. But the quarterback shuffle is only scratching the surface. It all started on Monday, March 14th, when the floodgates opened and a lot of big names just decided they were going to move, and the following week and a half was chaos. Monday, March 14th, J.C. Jackson and the Chargers and Landry released from Cleveland. Tuesday, Aaron Rodgers commits himself to Green Bay for another 3 years. Wednesday, Julio Jones is released from the Titans, Amari Cooper to the Browns, Carson Wentz to the Commanders, Khalil Mack officially moved to the Chargers, Von Miller to the Bills, and Russell Let's Ride Wilson to the Broncos. Thursday, Chandler Jones to the Raiders, Allen Robinson to the Rams, Cedric Wilson and Teddy Bridgewater to the Dolphins, and Devontae Adams to the Raiders. Friday, Juju to the Chiefs. Saturday, Robert Woods to the Titans. Sunday, Deshaun Watson officially to the Browns. Monday, Matt Ryan to the Colts. Tuesday, Zadarius Smith to the Vikings. Then finally Wednesday, March 23rd, ending off this player-moving frenzy, Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. Every single day of that week, us NFL fans woke up and got big news. I remember the craziness like it was yesterday. Then, throughout the rest of the offseason, A.J. Brown to the Eagles, Bobby Wagner to the Rams, Tyrann Mathieu to the Saints, Baker to the Panthers, Marcus Mariota is the starter for Falcons, Julio Jones to the Bucks, and Tom Brady retired. Never mind. Then, on top of all that, there's of course the NFL draft. Every year, teams cross their fingers and hope that they're going to strike gold and get a star in the draft. Based on talent alone and no NFL experience, I'll factor in all the draftees into my biggest winners and losers list that I'm going to do. But that's it, all the stars that moved and future stars that were drafted. But we're gonna need a recap. So here's my unofficial, official biggest winners and losers list of this offseason, including the draft. The 7 biggest winners, because I have too much to talk about to keep it down to 5, so I made it 7. Number 7, the Jets got DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead, who are both potential gems in the secondary. They also beefed up the O-line for Zach Wilson. They had the best draft in the league with Breece Hall at running back, Jermaine Johnson on the edge, Sauce Gardner in the secondary, and also Garrett Wilson to give other Wilson a weapon. Every single piece they got is a big if, but the young talent they acquired in 1 year is crazy. 6th, the Bills, the second best roster in the league with a great all-around offense and defense. But then they got Von Miller and overall just upgraded their defensive line with depth when they already had the best defense in the league last year. They're just so good and it was another successful offseason. 5th is the Rams, who yes, lost Robert Woods and Von Miller, but this is the best roster in my opinion from top to bottom in the league. obviously because they just won the Super Bowl. They have so many weapons, and Allen Robinson is an upgrade over Woods, and Bobby Wagner is a Hall of Fame linebacker. This team is insane, and they made 2 good moves that arguably makes them better, so they make the list. Fourth, the Buccaneers, just another amazing roster. Simply Tom Brady not retiring is a major W for this team. Arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. Chris Godwin is out for a while, but they got Russell Gage and Julio Jones to replace him. Then when he comes back, they have easily a top 3 wide receiver core in the league. They also got offensive guard Shaq Mason and also safety Logan Ryan, who will boost the secondary. Good offseason. 3, the Chargers. They added J.C. Jackson, who's a top 3 quarterback, and they added Khalil Mack, who will add so much pressure to offenses and help out Joey Bosa with double teams tremendously. They also re-signed Mike Williams and got tight end Gerald Everett. Chargers with a great offseason, and both LA teams are serious Super Bowl contenders. And then I'm going to put the Dolphins all the way up at number 2 because they got Tyreek Hill and Cedric Wilson to go along with Jalen Waddle. Then they got Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert as they go towards a really strong running back committee. Their offense got so much better as Tua is evolving into an accurate yet deadly thrower. They could either suck or become one of the best offenses in the league easily. Then, the number 1 best offseason goes to the Broncos. They got Russell Wilson, the only top 10 quarterback to move teams out of all the moves. The Broncos were a tough team to beat. They have good running backs, wide receivers, and an arguably top 5 defense last year. The only problem was they didn't have a great quarterback to lead them. With Bridgewater or Locke leading the team, they weren't going places. With Russell Wilson, that's a Super Bowl contending team. And here are the order of the 7 biggest losers of this offseason. 7. The Cardinals acquired Hollywood Brown, but also lost Christian Kirk, so that should be even. And also they lost Chandler Jones, and even though he's over the hill, he was a valuable piece. Then DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for 8 games, and it's not the organization's fault, but it's still bad for the team. So Cards at 7, and then Texans at 6 because they sucked and they might have gotten worse. I don't understand what this team is thinking. Even the worst of teams always still have a plan to have young talent that will develop or something, but they just keep signing old veteran players that will suck within a year and get injured. And they got all new coaching once again. Someone please save Brandon Cooks. He doesn't deserve this. Davis Mills is actually surprisingly good. He is literally the best quarterback of his draft class somehow, but still. Texans with another horrible offseason. The 5th biggest loser is the Cowboys, who simply lost Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson, and Ezekiel Elliott gets worse every year, and they just did not improve the team. But at least they got Micah Parsons. Number 4, the Packers. They lost Devonta Adams and MVS, so they have no receivers unless you count Allen Lazard. And they lost Zadarius Smith, who is a good pass rusher. And before all that happened, they signed Aaron Rodgers to a huge contract. So they paid Rodgers a huge amount and didn't keep any of the talent that kept him there. I'm sure Buddy is happy about that. 3rd, the Bears. They have a new inexperienced coach, and they lost Allen Robinson. They just got worse. 2, the Seahawks. They lost Russell Wilson. The roster is already bad, and they lost their quarterback. I guess they have DK Metcalf, and they paid him a lot of money for what, though? They might as well rebuild. Tyler Lockett is good too, but both those wide receivers need a good quarterback. And Drew Lock is bad. And Geno Smith is not good. Chris Carson just retired out of nowhere. The O-line is bad, the defense is bad, and it all only got worse this offseason. Number 1 worst offseason is the Falcons. Matt Ryan still put up decent numbers, and now they have Marcus Mariota instead. Now I think he's underrated, but he's still not good. Calvin Ridley is suspended for the year. They lost Russell Gage to the Bucks, and their defense is still horrible. This might be the worst possible roster in the entire league. And that is really saying something because the Texans exist. But there it is. The 2022 offseason review I know you needed. These trades and signings are huge. In the past, there have been big stars to move teams, and right after it happened, they won a Super Bowl. So we don't know which moves will work out and which ones won't. But only time will tell. It's important, this whole offseason thing. And what best shows how important the offseason is the last 2 Super Bowl champs. The Rams got Stafford and immediately won the Super Bowl. The Bucks got Brady and immediately won the Super Bowl. Maybe, just maybe, we will look back on the special 2022 offseason of absolute craziness 5 or 10 years from now and be like, huh, that Ben guy was right. All these players that moved changed the whole league. And every Super Bowl champion was because of this one offseason.